Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is Raspberry Reads. I've got a long overdue haul video for you. So these are books that I've either picked up myself in the last few months or books that I got for my birthday or Christmas, with my birthday being in December. So yeah, I'm not going to waffle on. Let's just get into some of the books that I'd like to share with you today. So the first one is one I've already mentioned on my channel before, and this is Why Women Grow by Alice Vincent. And this is a non-fiction sort of memoir, and it's about a journalist who goes around the UK talking to different women and interviewing them on why they maintain gardens. And I'm only 50 pages in. Yeah, about 50 pages in. And so far the main themes that are coming out of this one are themes of motherhood or trying to become a mother. So just to read the back for you, it says, women have always gardened, but our stories have been buried with our work. Alice Vincent is on a quest to change that, to understand what encourages women to go out, work in the soil, plant seeds and nurture them, even when so many other responsibilities sit at their shoulders, to recover the histories that have been lost among the soil, and to understand women's lives, their gardens, and what the ground has offered them. And yeah, so far it is an interesting read. It's not quite what I was expecting, mainly to do with the theme of motherhood, but I do want to finish this one. I should say I picked this up at Daunt Books. All right, the next three books I got secondhand off Vinted. The first is Falling Angels by Tracy Chevalier. I know nothing about this, so let's read the back cover together. It says, through the various voices contained in two middle-class households, Tracy Chevalier combines a galloping plot with a quiet understanding of the profound changes heralded by the death of Queen Victoria. Using a number of shifting perspectives, wives and husbands, friends and lovers, masters and servants, and a gravedigger's son, Falling Angels follows the fortunes of two families in the first years of the 20th century. Yeah, sounds interesting. I tend to enjoy Tracy Chevalier's work, and I'm sure this one will be no exception. So if you've read this, then without giving any spoilers, let me know what you thought. The second book that I picked up in the collection from Vinted is Landmarks by Robert MacFarlane. I think this is one of his first books. And this book doesn't really have a clear synopsis, but some of the quotes on the back say, this joyous meditation on land and language is a love letter to the British Isles. As teeming and complex as an ecosystem, rawly moving, enormously pleasurable, historically important, and imaginatively compelling, elegant and scholarly. Yeah, and that doesn't really say too much about what it is, but in any case, it's non-fiction, looks at the British landscape. So I'll kind of just go in blind on that one, I guess. The third book that I got from Vinted, and one that I've been wanting to read for several years now, is The Bass Rock by Evie Wyld. And so this is historical fiction with multiple timelines, and the synopsis says, in the early 1700s, Sarah, accused of being a witch, flees for her life. In the aftermath of the Second World War, Ruth navigates a new house, a new husband, and the strange waters of the local community. And then 6 decades later, the house stands empty. Viv, mourning the death of her father, catalogues Ruth's belongings and discovers her place in the past and perhaps a way forward. Watching over all three is the Bass Rock. Each woman's choices are circumscribed by the men in their lives, but in sisterhood there's hope of survival and a new life. I've heard great things about this. I've never read anything by Evie Wyld as far as I know, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this book this spring. Right, I got two books from my partner Lucy for Christmas, and these are from the Chiltern Hills Press, pardon me. And the first one is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So, I mean, most people are familiar with this, but if you're not, then Hester Byrne, I think her name is, correct me if I'm wrong, emerges from prison holding her infant daughter born out of wedlock and finds herself an outcast in a judgmental community ruled by Puritanism. To mark her infamy, she's forced to wear the scarlet letter A, a badge of dishonor for an adulteress who refuses to reveal her lover's identity. Hawthorne's masterpiece deals with the fallout of a perceived sin and the clash between private conscience and public morality in 17th century New England. I have obviously heard of this. I've never read it before. The only real understanding I have of the Scarlet Letter is from the film Evie, so I'm sure I need to have a better understanding of it, and we'll get to this soon. Also from Chiltern Hills Press is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I don't know anything about this. So it says, when Helen Graham takes the tenancy of Wildfell Hall, she incites passion and rumor among the local community. Helen's secrets are slowly revealed, the flight from a brutish, dissolute husband and determination that her son should not follow his example. Regarded as a milestone of feminist literature, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall has challenged Victorian standards when it was published in 1848. I like that these two books are talking about like questions of feminism and women's autonomy. So maybe I should kind of read them one after the other. But this one, Wildfell Hall, is definitely chunkier than the Scarlet Letter. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get to this one soon. But aren't these covers beautiful though? Like, look at that. That's why I love the Chiltern Hills copies so much, is because they're just absolutely gorgeous. And foiling on the edges as well. My brother sent me 3 books for my birthday. The first one is Greenwood by Michel Christie, which I should say, these are all books that I had on the list, so I had wanted to read them. I've heard wonderful things about Greenwood from several of you on booktube, and so that's why this was on the list. And it says, structured like the rings of a tree, this remarkable novel moves from a futuristic world in which only one forest remains to the start of the 20th century, where 2 young brothers survive a train crash, setting them on a path that will forever change their lives and the lives of those around them. Sounds great. It sounds kind of like, is it Overstory by Richard Powers? Which I did enjoy, but I was hoping would be better. But anyway, so I have high hopes for Greenwood, and if you've read it, what are some things that you really enjoyed about this book? Another book with wood in the title is Northwoods by Daniel Mason, and this is, let's see, it's always tricky when they have so many blurbs, but they don't actually tell you what the book is about. Okay, so over 4 centuries, a single house deep in the woods of New England, another one in New England, is home to runaways and visionaries, inseparable twins, a lovelorn painter, a desperate mother, and a ruthless con man. Each of them has a story to tell, prepared to be changed. So yeah, I think this is basically looking at the history of like a place and all the people around it. It sounds really good. So I'd like to get to this one soon. And then on the recommendation of my mom, but also many people, I wanted to try my hand at reading Kristin Hannah. So my brother got me The Four Winds. And so Kristin Hannah writes historical fiction, The Nightingale being one of her very famous ones, and The Women, which is set in Vietnam, is the one that she most recently published. Haven't got to any by her yet, so this one is, it is 1934, and Elsa Martinelli has finally found the life she'd yearned for, a family, a home, and a livelihood on a farm on the Great Plains. But when drought threatens all that she and her community hold dear, Elsa's world is shattered to the winds. Fearful of the future, Elsa is forced to make the hardest decision of her life: fight for the land she loves or take her beloved children west to California in search for a better life. Will it be the land of milk and honey as she expects, or will their experience challenge every ounce of strength they possess? And so this is obviously about the Dust Bowl, 1930s. I always really like books set on the plains or on the prairies, and kind of that Dust Bowl era, probably because they're just, I mean, they're so depressing, but it's a tale of sort of resilience that I enjoy most about these reads. So yes, I'm looking forward to getting to this one soon. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books to share with you today. And I'm sure I will get more books in my life soon, but in the meantime, I'm looking forward to reading these ones. If you've read any of them, then let me know your thoughts down below. And what books have you recently got? Did you get anything for Christmas or in the January sales that you've been really wanting to get to? I'd love to hear from you. So that's all from me today. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you soon in a new video.